Good evening. Welcome to Three Beards and a Boss. We have enough beards, but we're missing Brian tonight. And Pat has graciously said he would agree to come on the show.
Yes.
I think I bent his arm at breakfast last Sunday, but he did come on the show. So welcome, Pat.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Glad to be here.
So we got a lot to talk about, but we'll just talk about Pat for just a couple minutes here.
Yes.
So me and Pat have known each other probably a good 15 years or more.
Wow.
We started out together at the sheriff's department. He went to bigger and better things. He's a real estate guy.
Woo.
So he does that. And so Sunday, we were sitting at breakfast at church. I asked him if he wanted to come on the show. He said he would do it. He looked a little nervous, but looking at his little gaming system set up there, I think he's really comfortable in what we're doing.
He's so ready.
So,
He's done this before.
yeah.
Maybe once.
Something tells me Twitch streamer.
Oh man.
Yes and no.
That what it was?
Yeah,
There
I did
it
for a
is.
while. Yeah.
Oh
There it
man.
is.
How'd you do with that? I did it for about a year. How'd you
I
do?
did better with YouTube videos actually.
Oh really? Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
Just chopping up into segments.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. It took me about 6 months, and I finally hit affiliate and started making money. And then I was like, all right, this sucks. I'm out. Yeah, it's so much of a chore. But
There's a
but
lot
that
of
was
red
like
tape.
it was like 3 years ago, and I'm still an affiliate somehow. So I don't know. I thought they would have dumped me a long time ago, but they didn't. So I considered maybe doing it again for shits and giggles. But
Now, Bobby, you still get paid for it?
no, I mean I have to be on and making
Okay.
videos.
Okay.
So no, I got out of about 3 months. I ended up making about $600.
Okay.
Okay.
So it wasn't
Not
terrible
bad.
with donations and subs.
Mhm.
And then it was over just like that. I was like, yeah, it's when it becomes a chore,
Right.
it's like, and people were like, dude, you need to be on the same time every night. And
Right.
I got 3 kids at the time. We had 4 because of, fostering, and it just became too much, man, too much.
Yep.
So anyway, maybe I'll do it again. We'll see. But no, I don't get paid anymore. You only get paid if you're making videos and people are subbing to you, basically.
Okay. So people, if somebody was subscribing, they would pay what, like $5 a month or something like that?
They pay $5. Well, so there's a couple ways to sub, but sub is I think $4.99 and you get half of it, or you used to get half
Oh,
of it.
wow.
Now they changed it.
Yeah.
And I think you only get like 30% of it.
Okay.
And then people would donate. Now it would be a lot easier to probably get donations. It used to had to go through PayPal, but now with Venmo and all that, it'd probably be a hell of a lot easier to get paid.
No,
know,
Becky,
Yeah,
you do not
that's
have an OnlyFans.
I see.
That's what I was gonna say. Just
No.
get OnlyFans and everybody would be paid out them.
Look,
I'm gonna make.
go get an OnlyFans and sell pictures of your feet. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to sell my panties online.
Oh my! What the?
I'll be
Oh,
honest.
this
I
just
don't
took
know
a
how to
turn
do
for the
it, but
worse.
if somebody can tell me how, I'll do
Yeah.
it.
There's
I'll
probably a
whatever
how-to
flavor you want. Just
OnlyFans done for
send me
dummies.
a link because I need a side.
I'm sure there's a TikTok video about it.
Oh,
there
100%.
actually is, Kat, and that's how I know about it because this woman was trying to educate people, and I'm like, I can do that.
So what do
But-
you do? Like you said, flavors, and I'm assuming you're joking, but if you're
No,
not, what's
no.
the?
Flavors
So
are
what,
like, listen.
So you eat a lot of cherries and pee?
No.
Oh my God.
So like somebody's like, you're gonna be grossed out. Are you
Yeah,
ready?
but go.
Okay. So people will say, I want you to wear your underwear for 3 days and go on a jog. I want you to
Oh.
wear your underwear for 2 days while you're on your period. I want you to have sex while you're wearing your
What?
underwear, put them back on and send them to me. I'm not kidding. These are flavors. And you
I'm taking
can
it back.
I told you weren't ready for it, Bo.
I'm not ready for this.
It's
This is gross.
disgusting, but I want to do it because it's a lot of money.
All
I'll
right.
do
I'm
it. If you
trying.
don't have to see my face and you don't know where it's coming from, I'll
Now
do
we.
that.
Mm.
Yeah, no, T. I know you're upset. I know. I can.
Oh
see
my
it in your
God.
But if I'm getting $500 for a pair of panties, are you gonna be mad at that?
T, I mean,
I'm
would they
mad at that.
know? Would they know that you were a dude?
Oh
I
my
mean,
god,
you
this
could
is
No,
worse.
you can't do
This
it.
is even worse.
No.
No, who would know? Who would know? Beth?
Well, he would have to send some, like, he would have to make it seem like it was like Kim, unfortunately, and be like,
No,
"This is why."
No, there's enough catfish. There's enough.
No.
There's
No.
enough
You guys,
pictures out
this
there.
is like I've been trying to talk my coworker into doing eating videos for years.
Oh
Like
my
I'll
God.
feed her, she'll feed me. We'll get thousands of dollars.
Are
But
you kidding me?
no,
Well, I feel
wish
like
I-
this whole thing went off the rails.
It did. And we have
did.
only been
I
doing
mean-
this for
6
6
minutes.
minutes.
6 minutes.
I
so,
mean,
geez.
entrepreneurship is real, but
Yeah.
I can't do it. But I want to. So if you got some links,
Hey, you know what? We're gonna have a discussion at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, Becky, you're not going to get
No.
shit from your brothers about. We're
no,
not going to give
but
you
I'm
advice.
saying
on
this is
selling
what's
your
out
underwear.
there, and I could be paying off your mortgages.
Okay, well,
That's what I'm
how do
saying.
I sign
Like,
you
if
up?
I have a mortgage, would you let me do it?
He's like, when you just put in mortgage, I mean,
Yeah.
sell yourself for our mortgage.
I'll pay off your student loans, your mortgage, your
How about our kids'
Whatever.
student loans?
Huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
the Biden administration has screwed me. I've not got an email that I was approved yet.
Yeah. So
Everybody else
speaking of
around me has.
a less offensive topic, so the boy is looking into joining the Navy.
Ooh, I
So
like
we're hoping. We went and saw the Navy recruiter yesterday.
it. Okay,
and,
good.
So, we're getting all this stuff done. He's got a bunch of questions, and it's great. Then I started asking questions that I already knew the answer to.
Of course you did. You've been there. Done
I
that.
just want him to know these things,
Yeah.
and for the recruiter to know, hey, I can't fool this dude. You
Mhm.
can't sit there and dress up the pig and
Yeah.
me to think this is beautiful. I already know the deal, right?
Yeah.
So we get done with everything, and hopefully the recruiter doesn't watch this.
Mhm.
But we get done with the thing, and Austin's now in love with his recruiter, and he wants to
Is it a
make
girl?
sure. Of course, it's a girl. He's not
Oh.
joining the Navy for that reason. Great day,
Mhm.
Why did you bring him to a girl?
because one, she is great at her job.
Okay, well,
She
all right.
she sold that kid within 10 minutes.
Well, that's a problem unless you really want him to join.
I do. I want him to join.
You do.
I want him to join.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want him to be a sailor.
So good call. Good call.
So, yep. So we're working that out, and
That'd be
hopefully
amazing.
we'll get him off to boot camp in the next couple months. Then I get to go to Great Mistakes and watch him graduate. So
Just like you did.
just like I did, but I went to Navy World. So Pat did. So in the Navy, you have used to be there's a boot camp in Orlando, Florida,
Mhm.
and then the one in Chicago was called Great Lakes. So we used to call that Great Mistakes, and then Orlando was Navy World. So because we got to hang out with dolphins and Mickey Mouse. So,
Right.
Oh, I would want to do it.
And that frees your butt off.
exactly. Didn't have to
Exactly.
freeze. I didn't have to deal with like 4 feet of snow. I just had to deal with heat my entire boot camp.
Me too, and it's not fun. I went
It's
to Fort
not.
Leonard Wood for
Yeah.
basic, and then Fort Jackson for AIC, and it was in the summers, and it was horrible.
Yeah.
How do you
horrible.
run miles and miles and not die?
Exactly.
You have to be 20. That's what I say. You have to be 20.
Yeah. So
you
we're
were.
hoping that the boy gets in there so he doesn't have to do an OnlyFans and sell pictures and stuff that.
No, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
He needs the structure, and he is going to do great with it.
Yep. So,
He's lived. I mean,
but he's growing his hair out really long.
Yeah.
And it's great because
Until
I
he
said
goes?
don't cut it
yeah.
because they're
Then
going to
shoot it.
they're gonna send me pictures of his hair, like in
Mhm.
his haircut. That's what. Now I went in there with a haircut, and that's no fun. When I had guys with their hair down their back, and they shave it all off, and they're crying, they're holding their hand, their hair in their hands, they're crying, and they want their
No,
mommies.
you need to have him right before he goes, shave it off and donate it to like Locks of Love.
Well, the problem is that if you go in there with your head completely shaved, they still run it over. They try to irritate your skin.
Oh, that's not
It's the
right.
process. You gotta respect the process.
Well,
So, and on top of that, he took his practice test, and he comes out and he's all stressed. He's like, "Man, that test was hard. My head hurts." And Critter went in there and looked at the test, and she's like, "Dad, come in here." And I looked at the test. And I was like, "Damn, boy, you're smart." And because I mean, he knocked it out of the park. So
he's a
Good
Stevens.
for him.
yep, he's a smart boy. So anyway, so we started late because I screwed up an email. Sorry, Pat. And the reason that we put down as guest host is me and Bobby talked about this a while back because Brian misses out a lot on shows because he's a busy dude. This week he's dealing with a strike in California with his nurses, so I'm not sure if he's working the shift or he is out there negotiating with his people. I have no idea.
I think
He's
got to fill
working
in.
so they can strike.
Okay. All right. So that's what he's doing. So I think Becky had like 2 or 3 topics.
Well, I really only have one major one that I really
Major one. I had one on the Chrisleys. I think I said that right. Todd and Julie.
Todd and Julie Chrisley.
So if you don't know, they had a show on USA Network for years, and they got in trouble for tax invasion. They got in trouble for frauding the bank, and they got a pretty hefty sentence.
Yeah,
They got some years, and then they'll have some supervised. Now, this is federal prison. They're probably going to have tennis courts and someone making nice meals, not like the jails, not like the local jails.
the sad part is they have a 10 and a 16-year-old.
Right.
But they did wrong. So what do? You
So
can't.
So these federal crimes is, and we're not talking just, we're talking mid-range Donald Trump money here. They had some money. They frauded a lot of money. It's not like they messed up their taxes for 5 years and the IRS caught it. They were some major money, some major fraud. So they're about to go to prison. I'm not sure when, but they're going to prison.
Yeah, they've
for a
been
little bit.
sentenced, so I don't know when they're supposed to turn themselves in per se. But
it's probably like was it the Housewives that the husband and wife got federal prison? They took turns.
Oh yeah, Real Housewives.
Yeah.
It was
God, which one was that?
it starts with the
Is it
Teresa and Joe Gouda.
So here's the crazy part, right? So federal court, rich people, they can do that. But if you took a local case, right? A mom and a dad, local case, they go and rob a 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
The judge isn't going to say, "Hey, Bob, I need you to come in from Monday to Thursday. And Jackie, I need you to come in from Thursday to Sunday so your kids will be taken care of." They're just going to say, "Both of you, Bonnie and Clyde, are getting locked
Get
up."
your ass in here.
So
Hey,
it's
Pat,
a whole
do you
different
watch
ballgame.
The Real Housewives?
No.
Oh, come on. You know who we were talking about.
I just see it on the news every once in a while.
Are you sure you don't watch Real Housewives?
Yes.
Come on.
No, I got better things to do with my time.
Dude, they defrauded the banks out of $30 million. $30 million.
Yeah.
A lot. Yeah.
He got 12 years. He got 12 years and she got 7. And then they also had 3 years after that. They have 3 years of supervised something or other.
Their 16-year-old son, Grayson, was in a major car accident right before the sentencing as well.
Right.
He's okay, but he had some pretty severe injuries. But yeah, like a couple days before all this, he got.
Now, I think his wife is going to be fine in prison. Think she's going to be okay. But old boy,
could be like a Martha Stewart. You think?
Yeah, I think
It's
old
over
boy's
for
going to be
him.
hurt.
Yeah, he's gonna have a rough one.
He
He's
can't
So
get
what-
plastic surgery. He can't get no.
What happens when he
Botox.
gets out? Are they going to keep their money? Like, are they still going to be rich, or are they gonna
They'll sell
take
their
all their
story
money?
to USA. They'll have like a prison show for him.
But here's the thing: like, if they owe all these back taxes or these fraud, they're gonna be asked to pay restitution. So we got
Which they'll never pay.
They'll never pay, but we have 30,000 plus. So they'll never benefit from whatever they do, because all of that will go, hopefully the judge will order that all of that goes to any restitution that they owe.
Right.
So they're going to come out, they get a show or not, all that money should go to what they owe. But
in restitution, really, all that is the way that the government can say, you're going to have this restitution. We're going to pay it up front with the victim's fund.
Well,
and
not on thefts.
Maybe not on theft, but on other, like on some other charges, you might.
Right. So in our state, victims compensation is only for like homicides, felonious assaults, anything that's not theft related.
Right.
It has to literally be a violent crime. So if you have any kind of theft, or they, defrauded you in any way, we can't even ask in the criminal side. We cannot ask for restitution for a third party. So say you get a theft of $50,000, but you put it to the insurance company, and you only have to pay, like, let's say $5,000 for your deductible. We can only ask for the $5,000 that you paid for out of pocket. We cannot claim the $45,000 left over for the insurance company. We can't ask for third party restitution. So essentially, it's all out of pocket expenses in Ohio.
Okay.
Yeah. So anything with the theft, essentially, you're not being paid.
And I'm pretty sure that's how Virginia's set up.
Yeah. And that's how a lot of places are set up, because you just can't, in the criminal side, even though it's a criminal activity, you just can't ask for money like that, unfortunately. And then we have to tell victims that, say your offender gets 3 years in prison, but he owes $1,200 in restitution. We can't say, hey, he's going to, anytime somebody puts money on his books, we're going to take that out and pay you. No, you're going to have to wait that 3 years, and then it'll still be like a $10 a month restitution.
Right.
Like, they have to give like they have to offer some kind of payment plan. It's just really sad, like when it comes to theft, especially because people get taken out of a lot of money and never, ever get that back. Ever.
Well, I hope Todd and Julie
enjoy prison.
Rot in hell. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it, they frauded the government. I mean, I don't know if this isn't a victim's crime. It's not a.
You don't call it yeah.
Right. But if you think about it, somebody's funds, somebody's premiums go up because of that.
Yeah.
So it hurts people's pockets.
Did anybody ever watch the show?
You know what? I watched it out of entertainment. You know how you watch a train wreck?
Yeah.
You drive by and you got to look. Yeah. That's how I felt about that show.
Yeah.
But he was just an interesting dude. That's all I can say to keep it politically correct.
I'm going to say this, and I'm not trying to offend anybody, but I'm just going to say it anyway. I think Julie was a beard.
Yes.
What? And I don't know what that means, but
we'll tell you later.
Why do you say yeah then?
Because it sounds like
he heard beard, and he's like, I have a beard.
Because we're 3 years.
She looks like a beard.
Bobby, a beard is a woman who marries a man who is potentially gay.
Alternative.
Okay.
Yes.
So that they don't have to out themselves. And that's okay. Like, it's fine if they are.
It works for them.
If it works for them, but it just feels like, I don't want to offend anybody. I really think that.
I'm pretty sure 90%.
Watch a couple episodes.
90% of the population who watched the show probably feels the same way.
I mean, I love the show. It's hilarious.
It's funny. But it's a train wreck. You're watching them. You're watching their kids. Yeah. And the kids.
Anna, amazing. I love her.
You watch the kids, and you're like, "There's no way that a child would act this way." So,
throwing that out there. Pat, have you watched the show?
No.
Not at all. Not
I
one
really
time.
don't watch that much TV.
What do you do then? Can I ask? Because I literally all I do is watch TV. What do you do in your free time?
Free time? What's that?
Well, what do you do? What do you do in life? Like, I want to know this from people because I live a boring life. What do you do?
So my wife and I live on a farm.
Oh,
We have to take care of all that. We have goats and chickens right now. We had cows. I sell real estate full time.
damn.
I was on staff at the church. TJ and I were talking about as a communications director for probably almost 2 years while I was doing real estate full time.
Dang.
So
You don't have free time, Pat.
no, not really.
What's your favorite thing about the farm?
Peace and quiet.
Yeah. What's your favorite animal on the farm?
Well, we have some Nigerian dwarf goats, and then we have a alpine Nigerian that's she's a little feisty.
Okay.
But there's one. Her name is Snowflake.
I need to see these animals.
She's all white.
Oh, I need to see. Why don't we have pictures of the animals, TJ?
Sorry.
Yeah, TJ.
Yeah,
Sorry.
TJ. I'm blaming
TJ.
you.
My fault.
Fail.
Yeah, it's your fault.
Failed.
We need to see
Epic.
pictures. Okay.
Epic failure.
Next episode, it's going to be just pictures of your animals. Oh, wait. Bobby found some. Is
I
that,
gotcha.
is that what it looks like?
Is that the same goat that hangs out with Brian when he bike rides?
No,
Yeah.
it's all white.
Oh,
Oh,
look.
that one.
For
the
real,
all-white
that's
one.
kind of adorable, man.
Oh my God. Is that what it looks like, Pat?
Those are big, but yeah.
Those are big?
Yeah.
You got a little tiny. Okay. Next
Yeah, the
episode.
Nigerian only get up to about 23, 24 inches at full.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Do you bring them in the house?
No.
What? I would let them sleep in my bed. They're so tiny. They're so
No,
cute.
my dog would go nuts.
What kind of dog do you have?
I don't even know. It's a mutt.
Aw.
Now,
But
do
if you
these
get on the
goats
farm,
get on
does
the
that help
roof?
Do what?
Do they get on the roof?
No.
No.
Mm.
Okay.
No,
Too
we've got
tiny,
a goat
bro.
bed and
Ow.
it's fenced in, and we've got a old plastic table and some tree stumps that they
Aw.
run and jump all over and have a good time.
Nice.
Pat, you know what you need to get? You need to get a little, one of those little round home trampolines. So they can jump on it. I've seen that. It's
I would
like-
never get them out in the field to eat.
Maybe they get playtime.
Yeah.
They need playtime. I want you to bring them in the house and let them sleep in your bed.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna tell your wife. I'll call your wife later. I'll tell
Hey,
her.
people don't even let their dogs sleep in their bed.
Yeah, hell no.
Well, we're gonna
Oh.
get you some bed sleeping animals here soon.
All
That's
right.
the best
You let
kind.
your dog sleep in your bed?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. My dog takes over my bed. She's a tiny little ass corgi, but she takes up I sleep on this much bed.
See, if Athena is in the bed, we don't sleep because she's still a puppy, and she will get off of the bed and she will find her little spot and go pee in the middle of the night and jump on the bed like nothing happened.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. That happens. But she
So,
still sleeps
I'm
in
getting
her
Bobby a puppy for Christmas.
bed. He won't
You know,
let-
Shannon did say when the boys are off to college, so here in a couple years, we'll let Arya get a
Oh,
dog.
Aria needs a
Oh,
dog.
that would
That's
be
what
so
she's
messed
all
up.
about.
So we'll
Aria's
see,
all
yeah.
about- Hey,
Can you-
Bubba, hold on. Before
Yes.
you get too deep into this,
Yeah.
Dakota will be like a little aged by then.
Mm-hmm.
You want to take her?
No.
You want to
Hell
take her?
no. Hell no, Becky.
Bobby, you
That
know
dog
she
barks
doesn't
too
talk.
much, man.
She needs no, she just needs attention. If she gets attention, she doesn't bark.
Don't you give her attention?
I give her I give her at least 2 to 3 hours of on hand petting a night.
See,
2 to 3 hours, and I don't
with
have that much
Athena-
time.
with Athena, if you come home, you got to do your pet, jump on
Yeah.
you and all that, right? If you sit down and you start to talk to someone in the room,
Mhm.
that dog will start barking at you.
Oh shit!
Matter of fact, tonight she didn't. I don't think she meant to. She's just a puppy, but she's
Yeah.
barking at little Brian and
Mhm.
bit him.
Mm.
Not like just like "Arr, arr, arr, arr,"
She
and
wanted
just she's
attention.
mouthy. So
She
she
wanted-
got him like on the chest.
Oh no, on the
She
nipple.
got put in timeout. Not like bite down, but just like Bark, bark, bark. Oops.
Yeah. Well, she wanted attention.
She wanted attention.
So Aria will give Dakota 2 to 3 hours of attention a night.
Yeah, she would.
And she wouldn't bark if you did that. You just have to vacuum a whole lot.
Yeah, not gonna happen.
Although she's like a lot of money dog.
I know.
And I'll give her to you for free.
No,
For free.
no thanks.
Free.
Nope.
Family discount.
Free.
Nope.
Free.
Free
Yeah,
for
not gonna
free.
Not gonna happen.
Free for free.
So my dog is
She loves her. They love each other. I'll bring her over more just so she can love her more.
Okay.
my dog is a
Because if
Basenji.
Connor doesn't take her to college,
Becky, hold on. Go ahead, Pat.
I had to look it up. My dog is a Basenji long-legged hound mix.
shut up. Because
All right, now I gotta look this up.
therapy dog. We have a therapy dog. One of the police officers has a therapy dog that he brings around. Her name is Penny. And she's a Basenji. And I had never heard of this dog before. And she is kind of hyper, but she's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, is your dog hyper?
She likes to run.
There you
Yes.
go.
Yes. That's what she needs. She needs love and run and yes. The Basenji is an amazing, and I never heard of her until like the last year when he brought her in. But she's a
still
therapy
sharing.
dog.
My
For the police department. Basenjis are great.
They are the cats of the dog world.
Yes. Everybody loves her. She lets you pet her. She'll bite you a couple times.
Yeah.
And then
She just wants to be touching.
she just wants to be touched and looked at, and she's fine. Like, yay! Hi, my name's Penny. Look at me.
All right. So
Okay.
now let me ask you something. So last week we talked about the whole Ukraine, Russia being blamed for two rockets hitting Poland.
Mhm.
And since then, there's been some theories. The theory has been that it was Ukraine's air defense, like, oops, I'm sorry, we were shooting at the bad guys. It caught wind and went the wrong way. That's kind of the way I'm looking at it. I know how these systems work, and that's not how it works. But and Ukraine's saying it wasn't us. So I think over there they're just trying to start the pot. They're trying to get all of us involved anyway.
I don't think Zelensky will do anything backhanded. I'm just gonna say that, but I just love him and he's really cute. So he can do no wrong.
He's
that's
married.
my. I mean, he's
Very
hot. Like he's like.
I got you.
Like,
I got you.
Yeah.
So because we were talking about it yesterday or last week, and I said allegedly because you don't
Well,
know.
it's all alleged, until the spring.
So, but that's going to continue going, and there's going to be a lot of things. You know how we try to erase our history, and this kind of behavior is what put America in World War II.
Do you know how much money we've sent to the Ukraine?
Too much.
Yeah, way too much.
Way
Do
too
you know, Bobo?
I don't know. Do you?
So as of right now, we're at 19 billion.
Cash
Uh,
or in
security assistance.
in Bitcoin.
Bitcoin
Yeah.
is going down.
Did you hear what that dude got arrested? Fairchild or whatever his name is.
huh?
Oh, the
FTX
guy
guy?
that tried to
Oh, yes.
bring it down.
Yep.
No, we have sent billions of dollars to Ukraine, and I didn't know this. I did not know this.
Oh, I knew.
But billions in what? What do you mean? I mean,
Money.
cash? Are we talking cash?
Weapon,
or
most of the
weapons?
time, it's weapons and
Assistance,
aid.
cash assistance to the.
So do we
Ukraine.
sell them at a discount, or do we give them away
Who are we selling?
to Ukraine? Do we sell? I'm trying to figure out how we're giving billions.
Because
Well,
those tow missiles and they're expensive.
But
Yeah.
I don't know what you're gonna have to
Those
Google
rockets
what you're
are
asking
expensive.
because I don't know what you're asking. It's
What
like
I'm saying is, do we sell our old equipment to Ukraine at a
Oh
discount?
no, they're getting new
And-
stuff.
New stuff. Okay.
They're getting
All
new
right.
stuff.
this is just a hand you billion.
Mhm.
Which
So, like-
this is the only thing I can attribute to why we're still here, and unfortunately Ukraine, like the whole thing, but they would not still be fighting if it were not for our billions of dollars.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? I
I'll
mean, I
second
could be
that.
wrong. I could be wrong.
Well,
But
if you
billions of
think
dollars is
about
a
it,
lot of money.
if you think about it, this is how most wars have continued overseas, because we've funded most wars.
Yeah.
Afghanistan with Russia, we funded that. Even during World War II, before we were involved, we were sending equipment and pilots to help fight Germans with Britain.
Yeah.
So we've been doing this since the beginning of time.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Revolution War, the French came over and helped us, assisted us in training our soldiers in new techniques and all that other stuff. So,
but our homeless can't be helped. I can't get my student loans forgiven.
Don't even
We
talk
still
about
have a
veterans.
mental health crisis
Yeah, no
in the
kidding.
United States. Like, I mean, there's so many things. Like, if we can mind our goddamn business.
well, here's the thing about that student loan thing. So the Supreme Court said it was unconstitutional for them to have said it. There's theory on that the campaigns, like all campaigns, they said they had that catchphrase, and they said, "Hey, vote for me, and I will get your student loans forgiven." People said, "Yeah, I'll go vote for President Biden. I'll vote for that guy." So they voted for him on the premise that he was going to pay out their loans, which they should have known that would practically be impossible.
Right.
So someone's going to pay it. So if they forgave your loan, someone's going to have to pay for the taxpayers,
Yeah.
whatever budget. I mean, we spend $100 on a wrench anyway. That's how we funded most of our military equipment anyway.
He's like the military, or he's like the middle school like class president who says, "I'll make sure we all have ice cream on
Right.
Tuesday."
You're getting a soda machine in the staff cafeteria.
Yeah, like nobody will have homework for the weekend
Yeah.
if you vote for me. And that shit always flew. We voted for that person, but they never could like cash out, you know?
Yeah.
That's just,
I always voted for the kid that said, I can't give you crap. I'm like, at least he's honest. This
went
guy's
for
the man.
underdog.
This
We went
dude's
for
going
the
somewhere.
underdog.
So,
Yeah.
What else? So-
that whole. I don't. Why is it unconstitutional?
I don't know, because I want my student paid. I want it paid off. God damn it.
That's just that. I don't know why it's not called, but I
mean,
do know that's what the Supreme Court's
Right. You're exactly right. That's what they're saying. I'm just trying to.
Yeah, they're
So
saying
here's
that
the thing.
their
Like, so
opinion-
why? Okay, here's the thing. Okay, I'm going to say this because I'm on both sides.
I see why.
In 1 year from now, I could apply for the public servant student loan deferment. So,
right.
because I've worked in public service for 10 years, I could apply to have my loans gone. But how is that constitutional, but not just getting rid of my entire student loan?
Because you're getting something back.
Well, yeah, but
You're
they're
getting
still
public
not even
service.
looking.
So-
they haven't even approved me.
So,
And
if,
I'm like, dude,
well,
I've been public servicing since fucking 1996, bitch.
so here's my thing: if you're giving something back,
I
they're,
get that.
they're just compensating.
You earn it. You earn it.
You earned it.
You
So,
earn it.
yeah, I mean,
Well-
they got, just like the military, they give repayment plans when you join the military.
No, that,
they say,
that makes
I'm
sense.
going to give you $20,000 in repayment of your student loans. A lot of people that become officers, that's their only avenue because they don't get sign-on bonuses as an
Yeah.
officer,
Yeah.
but they will get their payment back for their schooling.
Yeah.
So
No, I think you should earn it, but like go case by case and don't just be like approving everybody. Like
it's like Oprah of the government. You get
a
your student loan.
You
You
get
get your student
you
loan. Yeah.
get
But you know, if we want to progress as a society, I think we have to do it. I mean,
We
we need to
do.
find a way to do. We need to find a way to make healthcare free. And these are the only things that I am liberal on. But
Right.
healthcare needs to be free, and
Well-
school needs to be free. And we have ways to do it. We could do things in our
Right.
government a little
But here's
different.
the issue.
Because we
Here's
keep
the issue.
spending
The whole free
billions of
healthcare.
dollars in other countries.
Right. The free healthcare, like the only thing that I can go off of that is Canada.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
it takes you 6 months to get in to see a specialist, and 6 months you're pretty much dead of a cancer, right?
Call your
That's
doctor
my only
tomorrow.
issue.
Call your doctor tomorrow and try to make an appointment.
Yep.
You're absolutely
See
right.
how long it takes you.
You're waiting. And if you
Yeah,
have
you
to
are
see a
waiting.
specialist, good luck. And you know what it cost me to walk into an emergency room? $300 just to walk into it.
How
And
much?
I pay $500 a month in insurance, and it cost me $300 just to walk into an ER.
That's
How is that? How is that okay?
You know what? It's kind of funny. Well, not funny, but that's what I sell my soldiers on when they're thinking about getting out of the military. I always say, you will not find a cheaper insurance. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter how far you look. You will not find a cheaper insurance.
I pay for me and Connor, 2 people. I pay $500 a month in insurance, the same that a household of 10 would pay. It's not single plus one; it's family.
Right.
You can never get single plus one insurance. So I pay the same amount that a family of 10 pays.
Yeah.
And then my ex-husband gets paid $1,500 a year to not cover Connor on his insurance. It doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense to me.
So, Pat, this is a good one for you. So, you used to be on our county insurance, so you can kind of remember this.
Yeah.
When I went back into the Guard, they offered me TRICARE right after I got back from deployment, and
Yeah.
it was like $212. But I want to say our county insurance was $600 a month.
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
When did you come back?
2010 or 2000. I'm sorry. I came back in 2012 from deployment. It was like $600 a month, I think.
That's
Close
insane.
to it.
Yeah. I mean, the jump from single to married was
Crazy.
ridiculous.
Right.
Mhm.
Because I think the single guys paid
yeah,
like
plus
$40
one.
a month.
$40 a paycheck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You like on dental.
That's beer
I
money
can
for a
get-
single
Right.
guy.
I can do on dental, I can get single plus one. And I'm happy to do that with Connor. Why can't you do single plus one on insurance? Because
'Cause they
I
gotta
don't
get their
want to
money.
pay the same
Yeah, they're not
amount.
gonna make money.
I
So I'll
know
tell you a
I'm
crazy
poor.
thing,
poor.
Becky.
I am poor.
So when I went to a health insurance meeting for our job years and years ago, and the insurance reps like, yeah, so family is this much.
Mhm.
And I said, well, how many people, family? You can
It
have
doesn't matter.
it don't matter how many,
Doesn't
right?
matter.
So I'm in the middle of my
Anybody
roll
push you.
call.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of my roll call, and I turned to my captain. I was like, hey, I got to go. And they're like, what do you mean you got to go? I said, well, I got to go home and make a bigger family, because if I'm going to pay this kind of money, I got to get to work.
I gotta have like 17 babies.
Yeah. I was
to
like,
make
I got to go make my basketball squad right now. So,
So
Yeah.
true. So true. So true. So we've been talking about a lot of things, but Pat, what is the one thing you want to talk about?
you talk about anything you want.
Anything you want to talk about, we'll talk about it. Is there anything that's like getting on your nerves or just
Oh man,
anything?
that's a loaded question.
I know
it is,
that is
right?
so loaded. I'm
Very
so
much so.
sorry. Let's talk about it amongst friends. Come on, bring it out. Talk about it.
Since I never get to talk politics,
Mm-hmm. Bring it.
what is y'all's take on Trump running? Will it
Oh,
hurt
boy.
or help?
Can I just say one thing before we start that?
Go ahead.
This is not gonna be good when I say this, but I contribute Trump running for 2020 as much as I consider Kanye West running for 2020.
Mm.
So
I don't
And it
know.
sounds like he might.
here's
He
my take.
announced it. He announced it.
Yeah.
Kanye
Here's
said
my
he's
take on it.
running for president for 2024.
You got the governor from Florida that's talking about running for president.
Yeah.
You have
Just don't know.
Trump that's talking about running for president. And I will
He
tell you
hasn't
that I
announced
think
it though.
right. But I think Trump is nervous because he thinks Ron from Florida is going to run, and I think that he knows that Ron can beat him. So I think he's nervous.
That Trump knows that people don't take him seriously anymore, and they're afraid of what he's going to do. Like, he was a balls to the wall, man.
Well, my biggest thing about him,
was good.
Yeah. What my fear is that the Republicans in 2024 are going to waste their nomination on Donald Trump.
Yep.
When they should concentrate on someone that can. We say this every election. We say we need someone that can unite our country.
That's all
I
we
really
need.
think
He's
they're
not going to do it.
going to lose that if they put Trump there.
Yeah. I always feel like anytime Trump comes into the conversation, there's automatic immediate divide.
Thank you.
And, you're either for him or against him.
Right.
And, if you do that in the primary, you're going to have DeSantis, let's say, you're going to have Trump, and then you're going to have somebody like Glenn Youngkin, who was also talking about it. And he's going to end up being like the libertarian vote, but it's going to draw enough from the Trump vote and the DeSantis vote to make it too close.
Yeah.
So,
well, and I've said this a million times. Like, Donald Trump has not polarized like politics more than anybody in the future or in the past. Like, he has polarized the far lefts and the far rights. Like, he has made people so anti and pro that it doesn't even make sense anymore.
Yeah.
He can thank the media for that too.
And that's the problem is the media is.
Well, his buddy over at Twitter, you can think, they should have never allowed the president of the United States to have a Twitter account.
Well, Joe Biden got one.
I know, and he shouldn't have one either. When President Obama was in office, he was the very first president to ever have possession of a cell phone. And they had to do all this crazy stuff to his BlackBerry to get it secured, encrypted, and all that stuff. So when we allow our politicians, our highest in office, to have that kind of stuff, stuff has to be filtered. When the president gets hot about something, he's got to have that person, he or she, because I think we're within the next 10 years of having a female president.
Yeah,
but we got to have someone right there saying, "Oh, time out. You can't say that.
Why don't you sleep on it and then think about it?"
Sleep on that before you send it. Everything's so instant.
The thing about that too is you talking about Twitter. What do you guys think of Elon Musk being now the owner of Twitter and the antics behind that? Anybody?
I think it's revenge.
Okay.
I think it's revenge. Now, we can all agree that the woke community is a little too much for us at our age, and I think he's decided that he's going to take that whole community on. And it's a dangerous game.
It is
that he's playing.
Well, it's not dangerous when you're a billionaire.
Yeah, when you're a billionaire, they can't sue him enough.
Well, I mean, when you have fuck you money, nothing matters.
Right.
I mean, if I were a multi-billionaire, I wouldn't care. And I think, I mean, as much of a tool bag as I think he is, what he's trying to do is bring free speech back to Twitter. I mean, that's kind of ultimately what he's trying to do, is he not, Becky? I mean, now we can argue free speech versus hate speech,
right?
Because there is a difference.
Is hate speech, because
but free speech is free speech, and we can't.
It is, but my God, we're in 2022. Why are we hating each other?
Well,
why are we?
Because we're human beings, Becky, and that's what we've done it for. We've done it for a million years.
No one's going to be the bad.
Yeah, we're human beings, and we're trying to make this world, I hope, a better place. And by saying things about certain religions and races, like, how is that making this world a better place when all of us have to bind together to do that?
Well,
I can't support that. I just can't.
Yeah, we have to find a healthy balance, because if you've watched the news in the last couple of days, there was a shooting at a alternative bar You guys
it
know
was
me. I'm not a
gay
big political
Don't say
correctness, and it's not
alternative.
because I'm trying to be a butthead. It's just
No,
I
it
don't
was
know
a
their
gay bar.
terminology,
Just
right?
say
So it's a gay
bar.
bar. It got attacked and people died. And we have to find that healthy balance of people stopping that type of behavior, or people blaming a group. Like this dude on his own will went in there and shot them up, right? Why is everyone else, if you're not part of that community, you can't be blamed for something that this one knucklehead did. But we do have to find that healthy balance of saying we can't honor your talking of certain things and being disrespectful and being hatred, because
that's the thing is like we're continuing
fuels the fire.
We're continuing propaganda that is hateful to certain people, not only race, religion,
Right.
sexuality. Like this is what we need to stop. We need to just fucking deal with that. Everybody's different.
Right.
But now you're getting into free speech. So that's the issue.
Why do they have the free speech? It's because they're hearing propaganda that is hateful and discriminatory and like.
Well, I don't think our forefathers thought of free speech as being hatred. I mean, I don't think they could have predicted in the Constitution.
Come on. I mean, there was hate speech back then. It's been no different. We haven't changed as a civilization outside of, a boost of, an electronic boost, more or less, in the past 500 years. I mean,
and now it's because it's so known, you can't get away with saying whatever you want, because now it's there. It's for everyone to see.
Well,
how do you stop it? How do you stop these crimes of hatred?
I don't know.
How do you
I
stop
wish I could tell you.
I wish I knew,
but
jobs out there, you won't. You can try. We try to prevent it, but you got one or two a year of this crazy stuff that happens. And I honestly think every time I hear one of these, I think that all good people, no matter what their opinion is about a lifestyle, we all mourn, because these are human beings that are being taken. These are people's loved ones. So it's not like we're going yay for the team, because that's not what we're about. When somebody decides to take a firearm and do this kind of mass shooting, I think we all mourn. I think we all have to respect the families that lost people and the people that get taken for senseless crimes.
Yeah.
And this is, I think I've talked about this before. When I wrote my thesis on, I picked active shooters. And this was years ago. When I picked that thesis to write about the behaviors and everything else, the entire time I was writing that, there were 5 shootings, school shootings, while writing that. And I was like, I don't want current. I was starting to feel like overwhelmed with all the information that I was getting, and then trying to do the behavior analysis on why. And it really just came down to, I can't figure this out.
Here's the why. And I'm not saying I'm going to cure the world's problems, but essentially it is a generational thing, and it is how we're raised, and it is what we hear in our daily lives. But if everybody could just say to themselves, let every human being be.
Right.
If we could all just say, you know what, if they're not hurting me,
right,
let's move on. But we can't do that. And it is this generational thing, and it is this like propaganda thing, and it is this thing, like it has to stop with us. Like I would never let my child go out and talk about a different race or a different sexuality. We're going to talk about all these things in our home.
Right.
And we're going to come to an understanding that people are people, and you let them live their life if they're not hurting you.
Right. I don't
know what else to say about it. I really
don't.
Well,
I will tell you that I have conversations with the teenagers in this house, and we talk about the violence. I mean,
you have to.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago we had the UVA. UVA is only about an hour and a half from me and Pat.
Right.
The boy that did the shooting is from our community. He's right down the road from us.
Mm-hmm.
He was a standout athlete here in the Tri-City area.
And
now I'm not saying that doesn't give him credit.
No,
I'm just saying he went from being a standout academics in athletics to what this happened. And there's been a lot of speculations that he was bullied, and I'm not giving that an excuse. But I had a conversation with the teenagers in the house and said, look, you need to be careful of how you talk to people. You need to be careful on how you treat people. If anything, if you're nice to them, guess what? If something bad happens, you might be saved. You might be safe. Okay. But I tell the kids that this person might be having a really bad day. But
you never know.
We've been dealing with this stuff. I remember the Columbine, and Navi was a little girl, and
99
I was blown away.
Yeah,
and that was the start of us knowing, because the biggest shooting before that was the college in Texas. So this kind of opened the door to that type of behavior, and I think parents need to talk to their kids. That's the biggest thing. Even if your kid is like, upstanding and everything else, you still need to talk to them about the reasoning. You need to talk to them about
how they feel about certain things. Like, because you're never going to know until you ask them.
Right.
Your kid could be an outstanding scholar, but ask them how they feel about different things. Right. So that you can open up that line of communication and then talk about it to where you can reasonalize, like just make it.
What were you going to say, Bobby?
Yeah,
I think you guys are giving parents too much credit.
Do you think so?
Parenting?
Yeah, no. I just think, we are kind of in a bubble. We're all raising kids, I'm sure. Pat, I don't know your situation, but I've got 3 at home, and we raise our kids what I think is right.
Right.
There's a lot of kids that aren't being raised right,
That's it.
So I mean but I'm saying, hey, just sit down and talk to your kids. Most parents aren't doing that.
No.
Even in our bubble.
But because you talk to your kids, they could talk to their friends, Bo. Like, that's the thing. It's not just about what your parents, like, the kids that we have at our age are so influential to their peers that if you are the parent that's saying, hey, that's not okay. If their friend says something that's out of pocket, you could be like, hey, your kid be like, hey, why do you think that? Why are you saying that? Because this is what my parent says. It's just constant. I mean, because there's an age, especially in the teenage years, that parents don't matter to kids, but their friends do. And their friends and what their friends tell them means something. So if you instill that in your child and they can pass that on to their friends, that's open up in a whole new door. It doesn't matter. Like, Bobby, think about this. TJ, think about this. Our dad was the most racist in the past.
In the past, when he was an army guy, yes.
In the past, racist man. It didn't matter to me because my friends were telling me one thing and you guys were telling me another. And that never made a difference to me what my dad said, because I felt like what everybody else was telling me mattered more.
You know what? So just to help Pops out because he's not here.
Well, yeah.
You know what changed his way of thinking?
What?
The war.
Well, of course.
When I was going to be deployed, yeah. So when I was being deployed, to Iraq, Dad told me, he said, "Look, when I was coming up in the Army, we had a certain way we thought, we felt, those type of things." He says, "When I went to war and bullets were flying."
It didn't matter.
He had a respect for everyone, and he said he changed his mind. He was a E8 in the Army. Yeah. He was in his 30s, and it took him that long to figure out life. And then he never had that issue again.
And I believe that, but that was before our time. He wasn't like that with me, Brian, and Bobby.
Yeah.
And we had to come to our own decision. And it came more from our mom and our friends than it did obviously him. Like, so what your parents say is not gospel. You have so many other influences in your life that if they tell you a different way, you're okay to listen to it, especially as a kid or a teenager.
Right.
You know? So this is where we started. We have to be the generation that stops this madness. We have to.
Well, I've also seen people older than us that has lost their mind when Trump lost his election.
Yeah.
Grown people with grandchildren.
Oh, I know.
Losing their mind, just like thought that he was the second coming.
I know.
And it blew my mind. I mean, we have family members that lost their mind that I won't even speak to anymore because they were just like, well, he's what's going to save the. I'm like, I can't deal with y'all no more. I can't look at their Facebook. I can't even have a conversation with them anymore.
Yeah.
When he was first running, though, I'm not going to lie, I was on board because
everybody was.
Here he is, a guy.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Bob.
Or were you? Oh, sorry, Beck. I thought you were going to talk.
No.
We were.
Talk a lot.
Here he is, a guy who isn't part of the establishment. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he's big business against big government. And how do you not? Considering where we came from economically,
yeah.
A lot of people were like, and honestly, if he weren't such a tool bag, he did okay things in the office. He really did.
Yeah.
And people, and unfortunately, it's overshadowed by the fact that he was a complete tool bag.
I don't know how y'all felt about it, but I remember waking up on election day of 2016 and practically almost in tears. I'm like, God, this is what you have to offer me, Hillary Clinton and this guy. And I think what really got him in office, to be honest with you, is when 13 Hours was put out.
Mm-hmm.
The Benghazi story?
So for me, being a military guy and knowing that when I was in, when I served in the very early 90s, Bill Clinton left people to dry with Black Hawk Down, basically. Mm-hmm. And then his wife gets to have that opportunity to do that again. So I think that for me, that was like, well, I can't vote for someone. I can't have that type of stuff in office because when our men and women are over there and they need their leader to say, okay, we're going to get you out of here. I need someone that's going to take care of that.
Yep.
So I don't know if you notice it. It doesn't go on our live, Pat, but so our StreamYard comments, we have this guy that comes in almost every time and he puts stupid stuff and Bobby has to block him.
Sometimes I just patiently wait.
Patiently wait to see what else stupid he's going to say.
It's a shame though when this is what two parties do to us as a government. I switched over to libertarian probably 8 years ago, and if there was a good libertarian candidate, I think they would do well. I really do. And but we're basically we're given the choice of Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump. I mean, how do you vote for a president that is basically the lesser of two evils?
Right.
And that's what sucks in this country. And I understand we're America, home of the free and the brave, and we're the best country in the world, which I would disagree with completely. But that's kind of that's what we think, and that's what we are. It costs you millions upon millions upon millions of dollars to become elected as president in this country. Mm-hmm. That shouldn't be. It shouldn't be the way it is. I mean, you should be elected on merit and not money. So, we've got issues. We got issues to deal with.
Yep.
Now, I think it'll be a shit show if he actually runs for president. But
yeah, you brought up a real good one, Pat.
He may get elected though. It would.
I missed this whole thing. I had to tinkle. Sorry.
I was just saying that I wouldn't even really be surprised if he was reelected. I really wouldn't.
I wouldn't either.
It would be a shock.
So can I tell you guys? So every year, I have to. Well, I don't have to. Do the Republican Party tent at our Greene County Fair, and this year, we sold out on Trump flags, Trump 2024 flags. All the little kids, a lot of teenagers actually, were buying these flags for Trump 2024. And so I think that I don't know. It could happen. It could happen. No doubt.
Isn't it funny that teenagers are all about Trump? Isn't that kind of funny?
Trump.
You know, if they really looked at these teenagers looked at guys like Ronald Reagan, and they would know the difference. They would. Now, people say that he wasn't, but I believe that Ronald Reagan was a great statesman, because that's what you need to run a country. He had some issues. I know he had some issues with the housing market. That was a big deal for Reagan. He was great at foreign policy, horrible at domestic policy. And
his economic policy, his economic policy was garbage. But
no one would mess with him. Russia was playing nice. But yeah,
he made good jokes.
What's that?
He made good jokes.
He did.
He did, and he had a monkey.
Yep.
You know, the greatest thing he ever said was, the worst words you can ever hear is we're coming to help you, or something like that.
Yeah.
Trust the government. Yeah.
All I remember is Nancy Reagan saying, "Just say no.
Just say no.
Just say no."
Well, you think about that. So when he declared war on drugs, anytime you declare war on something, you get money. So as soon as they said,
that's what happened, and there was no war.
The war on drugs got a whole bunch of money, and they've received.
And there was actually no war on drugs, because we were paying money to people that were bringing it in.
Right.
Watch some other documentaries.
There's all kinds of documentaries on that.
Watch
the CIA. There's some
Rick Ross from California, not the rapper, the real Rick Ross. Watch that.
the real one.
I thought you were going to say what Narcos.
Rick Ross. And then
Yes.
His name.
Becky's thinking that's real. She's like, oh my God.
But you know what, Pat, while we're on economics, or while we're talking about it, how is the housing market, and how is the interest rates affecting
I need to
you
know
right now? And I'll tell you why I'm asking, because about a year and a half ago, people were saying, hey, don't hire a real estate agent.
Right.
You don't have to. Why spend your money?
Yep.
And now we're at the point where who can afford, or who would want to afford, to buy a home right now? So how's the market looking? How's it going? Or can I sell my home, or should I wait?
Yes, you can sell your home.
Okay.
I know a realtor.
So, I'm in Ohio though.
I can find you one. So the interest rates came out, I don't even know what the day is. Last week it was like right at 7%. In Virginia, in the metro Richmond area, we're still seeing pockets of multiple offers, 20, 30, 40,000 over asking price.
Wow.
So, when you hear them talk about it on the news, how it's a bubble and all this other nonsense, it's really not.
Yeah.
I did a video where somebody was comparing 2022 to 2008 with the housing crisis and everything, and it's not even the same. You can't compare it. People are still needing to move. The want to move, for those that were trying to move up to get that office space, to get the place with the pool, whatever it is, that's gone pretty much stagnant. But you're still, if you stay in a house for 5 years, you're gonna spend less money on your mortgage than you would on a rent
100%. Yeah.
And it's
Even at 7%.
Yeah, even at 7%.
Yeah.
But so they say like it's gonna crash soon. What are your outlooks for that?
I don't see it. I don't see it crashing.
Okay.
I see it settling.
Okay.
So
what does that look like against a crash?
So a crash would be like in 2008, 9, 10, after the nonsense. In Central Virginia, there were over, I think it was close to 11,000 homes for sale at the peak of it. And we have, I think it's somewhere around 5,000 right now.
Okay.
So it's not anywhere close to what it was. The average home price is settling, but only by like $15,000-$20,000. It's not, a dramatic $100,000 crash between July and now, like it would have been.
Yeah. So say I bought my house at like 100,000, and now it's saying it's like worth 150,000. And I said, well, shit, I want to sell that because I want to make that extra 50 or extra whatever it'd be after my mortgage. But I'm going to rent until the housing market becomes more stable or does its thing. Like, is that ill-advised?
Yes.
Okay. No, seriously, because I have a lot of people telling me that. They're like, oh, I'm going to sell my house at like 70 over asking, and then I'm going to rent for a few years, and then I'm going to buy a house when it crashes. Like, I have a lot of people telling me that, and I'm like, I don't know if that's a thing.
So there may be markets where that happens.
Okay.
Like Dallas and Phoenix, where they saw the huge uptick in sales. They're seeing the crash on the other side of it now because it's settling back down to where it should be.
Okay.
And inflation hasn't helped, obviously.
Right.
But what I'm seeing a lot of is landlords are kicking their tenants out and selling the houses.
Yes.
I had a good friend from high school. He called me. He said, I got 60 days.
Oh, no.
That sounds illegal.
No.
No.
That's insane.
30. Yeah. You don't even need 60.
Well, to evict someone, you need 30. But, I mean, they have a contract. I mean, if there's a signed contract, I would think that's
non-avoids if you sell it, right, Pat?
Right.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people aren't going. It's like month to month anymore.
Yeah, I knew this. This guy was telling me what happened to him is he was given the notice 60 days because the landlord was selling the house. Mm-hmm. And I think he was telling me he just basically ignored it because he didn't even think it was true.
Oh no!
It got down to like 2 weeks, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I got to go." And the only reason I know about this cat is when I was adopting Athena, he came in to Animal Services, and one of the ladies asked me. He got like this notice. You get the notice from the courts. And they come up to me and says, "Is this legit?" And I'm looking over the paperwork, and I'm like, "Yeah, this is legit. This is vacate. It's time to go." But they gave him 60. They gave, like, he showed all the notices. I'm like, "Did you think they were joking?"
So that's actually not Ohio law. That's not Ohio law. That must be Virginia law. In Ohio,
Bobby knows about evictions in Ohio.
Yeah, unfortunately, the buyer of a rental property has to honor the written lease between the previous owner and landlord and the tenant. But if no lease exists, Ohio law presumes the tenant's month to month. So, so it's different.
In Virginia, if the landlord doesn't give notice, then the tenant carries over to the new buyer.
Yeah.
So they have to give notice.
Yeah.
So they can so they can help the next owner of the home do their thing.
Yep.
That's kind of like we have some really bad areas of Chesterfield that we're trying to get rid of, but we can't because there was a lawsuit a couple years back because we have a section of our county that would be perfect for industrial, and it's got a little bit of industrial on it, but we are swarmed with apartments and trailer parks. Mm-hmm. And we took out one big trailer park, probably like, about 15, 16 years ago, maybe a little longer than that.
It was in '97.
Yeah. So
Oh, that's a long time ago.
Yeah, one of my
When I
grandparents lived in it.
graduated,
yeah. So there was a lawsuit or something, or at least a threat of a lawsuit, and then they stopped it. They stopped doing that. But we have quite a few trailer parks. We have quite a few apartment complexes. So the trying to bring in them big buyers to say, let's clean up this area and then kick all these people out. It sounds good to a business person in theory, but it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys are familiar with, you guys know Dave Chappelle?
Yes. Yes.
So he lives in one town over from me in Yellow Springs. And they had sold a plot of land to make affordable housing for people. And Dave Chappelle was livid about it. And he ended up buying this whole plot of land so that they could not provide affordable housing.
Wow.
Yeah. He said, if you guys do this, I'm going to take every dollar I've ever paid out into this community. It's done. I'm not doing it anymore. So,
is that where he does his comedy shows now, Becky?
Yep. In the field.
Yeah, in the cornfield.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, Patrick, for me, like, what is the best piece of advice you could give to anybody looking or wanting to sell or wanting to buy, or like, because everything's so up in the air, nobody really knows what to do. What is your best piece of advice for people?
I would probably say that one of the lenders that I work with, they have a slogan that they've adopted over the past couple months. So it goes, "Marry the house, date the rate."
Okay.
Like
So if you can afford, $2,400 house payment for 2-3 years until the interest rate drops back down to the, wherever it may end, and then just refinance it. That would probably.
I'd love to have a $2,400 house payment. Jesus.
But is that the
my
thing?
day.
We have to like look forward to refinancing? Is that what we really need to do? Like, it's just like, okay, for now that's what it is, but in a couple of years we can refinance. Is that the thing we need to be thinking about?
Yep.
Okay.
Pat,
important.
that sounds exactly like something a bank would say.
Before
I didn't say it was my slogan now.
No, right. No, but it does.
Hey, before I forget, to my boo, the only thing I want to date is the rate. No one else.
You go, Kim.
Let's explore that that way of thinking, because that's a great way of thinking.
I may have Shan convince my wife, Pat.
You're
that
too
we
late.
should move.
You're in it. You're way.
How long you been in that house, Bobby?
11 years.
Yeah, you can't do shit.
But 2 years ago, we dropped $200,000 in upgrade or in improvements. So
now he has these blue lights that he tells Alexa to turn on the lights. So he used to have the show in his kitchen.
Patrick,
and for fun, we would ask him to change the colors.
No, Patrick, his deck costs more than my whole house.
Oh my gosh.
No, I'm not even. I wish I was kidding about this, but his deck.
I don't know, Becky. It's
whole fucking house. It's amazing and it's beautiful. And
Did you get a pool too?
No, we got a hot tub.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know we're like way over, but can we?
Actually, we're doing good on time.
Yeah, we are doing okay on time.
Can we talk about Shanquila Robinson?
Sure.
Yes, because I know you're dying to. Go ahead.
I am dying to.
Now try to keep it clean, because you have not been very clean today with young Pat here.
No,
go ahead.
Pat's all about it. Look at Pat. He's all about it.
All right, go ahead.
So we're going to ask him his opinion on all of this.
Okay.
Okay. This is a story so she's from North Carolina. She's a hairdresser. She goes to Cabo with 6 of her friends for a birthday party. They rent this beautiful villa and they're just having the time of their lives. Video shows that I don't know what she's told to do, but it sounds like everybody's trying to get into their bathing suits to go out into the pool or the ocean or whatever. Essentially, unfortunately, she's naked. So she goes and she's trying to find her friends. She's like, it doesn't really take that long to get naked. What are y'all doing? So she walks into a bedroom and there are multiple people in the bedroom. And the next, I don't know what happens between this and that, but the next video is of a woman assaulting her, like assaulting her, kicking her, punching her, kneeing her in the face. It's brutal. It's brutal. There's a man videoing and he says, can you at least fight back? And Shanquila's like, no. And they just keep beating her. And then the video cuts out. So I don't know what happens from A to B, but the friends tell her family that she died of alcohol poisoning while she was in Cabo. So they come back home. The friends come back home to the United States, and obviously Mexico does an autopsy, whatever. They find that Shanquila has died from a broken neck and a severed spine from obviously the assault.
Right.
And obviously her parents find out and they're like, what the hell? Another thing I learned is that, I don't know if this is true, this is something I just found out today, that there was a doctor in the suite who was with her for 3 hours before she died. I don't know that, I really don't know the extent of all that. But the fact that they all came back and said, oh no, she died of alcohol poisoning or whatever. Like her family was like, that doesn't seem right. Like what's going on? So she was buried this weekend. She came home and was buried, but it's like a big story because how does that happen?
Well, here's a couple questions that I have.
Yeah, go.
Did anybody say in their witness statements or their statements to the parents, we were all drinking or we had a disagreement?
Not that I know of.
So basically what it sounds like is that the friends are saying, oh, she was just the only one drinking.
Complete cover up from the beginning.
Right. And the sad part is there's no jurisdiction.
Well, no. So today I found out that Mexico, it's a sovereign state or a sovereign country or whatever. Mm-hmm. Mexico has okayed the extradition of all of these 6 people to come back to Mexico to be.
And so as long as our State Department authorizes that, we'll turn them over.
They're going to Mexico to be tried.
I just read something that said the FBI has been assigned to it now.
The FBI has, thank you, Patrick. Yeah, the FBI has been assigned because they started finding out these things. So none of it made sense. And so the FBI was like, I'm going to get involved. And
well, the video was leaked, right?
The videos. I've seen both, and it's tragic.
So like, one video shows her being beat. What's the other video saying?
One video shows her walking into the room where all these people are kind of conspiring against her. And then the second video is her getting beat by this girl.
Was the video of her getting beat, is that ultimately what killed her?
Yes.
So
the injury she sustained because you don't see you only get the video, but in the video, she is beaten brutally. Like she is kicked and punched and kneed, and she's just sitting, they're like telling her to fight back, and she's like, no. And she's just getting pounded on. And we don't know what happened after that video.
Now, where were they from in the States?
North Carolina.
North Carolina? Is that what you said? Okay.
Yeah. And again, she had her funeral this past weekend, and the whole thing just it's so sad.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that she
was literally laughing in her video before she realized, she didn't even realize what was happening. She goes into the bedroom and she's laughing about how they're taking forever to pick out a bathing suit. Right. And she's laughing about it. And then the next thing you see is her getting brutally beat. What I heard is that she had, and I don't know that any of this is true, and I don't even know if I don't even want to put it out there, honestly. Okay. I'm not even going to put it out
there. Well, here's my thing is as parents, and apparently this girl was grown.
Mhm.
You go out there.
25. She was 25.
Yeah, you let your kid. I got a 24-year-old baby girl that I would probably commit a Taken movie if someone did that to her, and she's a grown woman.
Mhm.
So I feel horrible for the parents.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
But I hope that these individuals, Mexico is a horrible place to serve time.
That's what people keep
And they
saying.
make
It's
Russia
like,
look
bitch.
like a daycare.
Like,
So
bitch,
they're really
I
going to have bad
spent
life.
2 days in Mexico jail and you're not going to like it.
Yeah.
But
So
I hope that they extradite every single one of these people and put them in the place they need to be.
and that should be an example of if you go to Cabo or any of those little vacation areas in Mexico, that that law will be in order. You will, if you do something stupid, you're going to be prosecuted. You can't just go to Mexico and act a fool. So that's crazy. I mean,
She
my
was just
worst
trying
day.
to have fun with her friends. These are people
Yeah.
she thought were her friends.
Right.
And she spent thousands of dollars to go to a resort with them.
Mm.
And she ends up dead. Like,
Yeah.
So you mean you can't go into Russia with marijuana? Is that
No,
what you're
Apparently
saying?
you can't.
Brittany, you're gonna be Brittany. Don't be
Apparently
Brittany.
you can't.
You don't be Brittany. She
Can
didn't go into Russia with marijuana. Wait, it was China.
She-
actually.
She went into Russia with oil,
Yeah.
Oil.
Yeah.
She went
Which
oil.
is-
She was trying to
which
come
is
back
a
home with
felony.
oil.
in most states in the United States.
Mhm.
That's what people
And
are failing
she
to
got in prison
understand.
for 9 years.
Yeah.
Give me a fucking break.
Well, here's the thing: when you go to another country,
I know.
you surrender your rights as an American citizen because you go into their country and act a fool. When I was overseas in the military, if I acted up, the military could have easily said, "You know what? We're not going to deal with this cat. You guys have him." And like places like Singapore,
Tate,
oh, they would have done some stuff.
Think about Vietnam and all the weed that was smoked and the LSD that was given to the soldiers by us.
Oh, I look.
Just saying.
So Becky, do you think the sentence for her should have been weaker?
9 years for some fucking oil. Yes.
Well, but she's in Russia. She's not in the U.S.
Yeah, she's
she's a basketball player.
who
That's-
cares?
Becky, don't go there.
No,
Don't go there, Becky.
No.
Don't go
No.
there because Becky, come on. Because you're a basketball player.
Did not deserve Bobo.
Well,
9
hold on.
years
What do
some
you think
oil?
she deserves?
I'm
Some
not
CBD
saying.
oil. No.
Well,
I'm saying if that's the law.
Do you
Right.
think that guy should have got flogged 29 times because he committed a crime? Remember
If
that
that's
kid
the
from
law.
our-
Oh yeah, I remember that
Sure,
kid.
yeah.
Because when I was in
Adam
Singapore,
from-
I was a good boy.
Yeah,
I was a
there's
good boy.
laws.
I
There's
mean,
And when
laws.
I say a
get
good
there's
boy,
laws.
when we got in a
I get
bar
it, but
fight,
that
I
is
ran really
so-
fast.
We don't even sentence fucking child molesters to 9 years in prison.
Maybe
And
we
you're gonna
need to set.
sentence somebody who
These are
has
great
oil?
examples for
Mhm.
us to follow in America.
We
Yeah.
should, but we don't. And
Yeah.
so why is that okay? I don't know. I have issues with 9 years.
You do.
Give her a
Is
year.
it a-
Give her 2
Is
years.
is it a tragedy? Maybe, but
Yes,
you know what?
9
You
years
have
of your
to.
life. Bobo, okay. You're 22 years old. So
Yeah.
no. Say you're 29 years old. And you're going over to a foreign country to play a sport because you're amazing or whatever you are. You have a little bit of CBD oil in your backpack, and you are told you're sentenced to 9 years confined in a horrible prison. And by the time you get out, maybe you can have kids, maybe you can't, maybe you can buy a home, maybe you can't.
I would
Fucking
have.
basketball,
oil.
Yeah, well, I
Oil.
probably would have looked up Russian. Look, in the United States, would I have the balls enough to carry around oil? Probably, because I'm not going to be flogged. I'm not going to be,
I don't like it.
whatever is. But you know what? She's in a foreign country, and just because she's a basketball star does not give her the right
It
to.
doesn't matter. I don't think it's because she's a basketball star, but just being.
Well, that's
in
what
the
you said.
criminal
I was
justice
using your
system-
words.
Well, hold
Just
on. So,
being in the criminal justice system as an American,
She's not in America.
Okay, so
you should be selling.
She's not in
great
America.
example.
I don't
Becky,
care.
Here's a
I'm
great
mad
example,
about this.
Becky.
I'm mad about this.
Yes,
So
you are.
Here's a great example. Each state has their own gun laws. All right.
Yeah.
So if I'm driving from Virginia
Not
to
comparable.
Florida, and I don't
Okay.
know which is which because I don't have to worry about this, but
Okay.
let's just say that South Carolina has a law where I have to have a permit of their state to conceal.
Okay.
And I'm driving through their state and I have a concealed weapon permit for my state
Okay.
and I get pulled over.
Okay.
I'm going to go and I'm going to get put in jail
You're gonna get 3 years, TJ.
for a
You're gonna
gun
get
that's
3
legal
years
in
for a
my
gun
state.
set.
Mhm.
Right.
You're gonna get 3 years for a gun. You're not gonna get 9 years from some CBD.
I'm just saying, don't go to Russia.
Don't go
Yeah.
to Russia. But
This is
my
a great example
God.
of why not to go to Russia. It was not on my bucket list for vacation next
Okay.
year.
So you know what? Flog her 29 times and send her home for some goddamn CBD. oil. Flog her. I guarantee she'll want to be flogged before she spends 9 goddamn years
Look,
in a
she's
Chinese
got plenty of
prison.
canteen. She's got
I'm
plenty of
so
canteen.
passionate about this. I'm sorry.
She's got plenty of canteen. She always gets picked first for basketball.
Right?
TJ.
Hey, look, all the girls on the block are so
No.
happy. They're like, hey, who do you want to play basketball with you?
They're
Brittany.
always going to pick her.
Brittany's my girl.
They're always going to pick her, but it's not fair.
It's like having Shaq.
It's not fair.
Shaq or the 5-foot guy like me. You're going to
Charles
pick Shaq.
Barkley, not you. Charles Barkley.
So.
All right, let's move on because I'm so passionate. I'm
I
gonna.
know you are.
Yeah, you're
You got me
killing me
looking
over
at the,
here.
CCW.
CCW doesn't
Map.
exist in Ohio anymore, so can't
Yeah,
even
that's
talk
true.
about it. We can just carry all we want up in Ohio.
Mm.
Let's shoot everybody up.
We'll get there in about 3 or 4 years.
Don't say that because people do not need that.
No. Oh, I love the kids that carry the firearms. They're like barely 21 years old and they're carrying it. And they go into Wawa and they're like, look at me. I got a gun. They always want to look at the guy in the uniform. And I'm like, sure.
Those are the people that shoot people in the fucking crowd. Those are people that kill people. Don't appreciate them. Oh my God. All right, let's talk about something happy.
All right. So
I'm so jaded.
we can stay under an hour and 40 minutes. Let's
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, Patrick.
He looks nervous.
He looks
I would be
nervous.
nervous, buddy.
All right, we've talked about real estate. We've talked about the farm. Let's talk about your wife. She.
Oh no.
Yeah. Everything good?
She puts up with me.
Wow.
Everything good? Hey,
Is there something I don't know?
Pat, lay on the couch. We're gonna
Hey,
get you through this.
Becky,
buddy.
Becky, I have to see his wife at church, so please don't get the boy in trouble.
No, I was just kidding. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to like laugh.
Of course,
What
my
makes,
wife is
Patrick,
happy
what
for him.
makes you laugh? What makes you happy in this world? Something.
His goats. His
Ah,
chickens.
It's not his goats. It's something else. It's something bigger.
Pat, do you have a pond? Like, you have a farm? Do you have a pond on this farm? Do you have hunting land?
Yes.
That's all I want in this world, man. That's why what I was talking about with the market and the housing market was, I think I may have Shannon convinced to sell the house to get not a farm. I don't want a farm. I don't want animals, but I want acreage.
You want to
And
homestead?
I want a pond. I want to be able to hunt. I want to be able to run around the lawn naked and no one cares.
Be off the
That's
back
what I
deck
want.
and not have to worry about anybody
Oh
seeing you.
man.
Yep.
We're gonna
Now,
have a fencing yard for that. Yeah,
I have like I'm pretty secluded, but I still have neighbors. But
He has a cul-de-sac that they're about to
Yeah.
build in.
And
He
you
can
have
run
that
around
giant
naked
field.
for
Is that
like
field
5
still there for you?
that field's still there, but they sold it,
Yeah.
and some homes are going to be built back there. So
Mm.
that's
in a
why.
couple years. You have a couple
That's
years
why.
to run around naked.
Yeah. So
Do you ever do
yeah.
that, Patrick? Do you ever run around naked?
No.
Don't answer that.
No, answer it. It's a true ass statement. Do you run around naked?
That's a question, not a statement.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
no.
yeah. Patrick does.
No,
Okay.
I mean,
Like,
so
tell me
it's
I
not
do.
it's not the act though that I'm really talking about. It's the ability to do so if you wanted to. That's
Right.
the privacy of it is I would love that, man. Just fish, do some hunting and enjoy, just the homestead life. That's got to be pretty fun. So I don't know. That's
It
what I
is.
want, man.
Okay,
That's what I
And,
want.
and we homeschool our kids, so
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
you're
daily
good.
learning for them
Yeah.
on, taking care of the
All
goats.
levels.
What do they need? What do we do?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
If there's
So-
Patrick, if there's one thing you could add to your farm, what would it be? One thing. Well, 2, 3, 4. I don't care. You just give it all.
more of a buffer
What do you
between
mean?
between
From-
the neighborhoods and me.
Really?
Mm.
You just want to be more secluded and off the grid kind of thing?
I don't want anybody to know that I'm there, and I don't want to see
Mhm.
anybody.
Yeah.
Now, Pat,
I am there with you.
can you shoot from your property or no?
Bo.
Well,
Mm.
so me and Pat have a mutual friend that lived, and he started and lived in Amelia, and now he lives in a different area like Buckingham County, which is a really rural. But even when he lived out in the country, this
Mhm.
guy can walk out his porch and shoot a deer
Yeah.
in his
Mhm.
robe, and then
Yeah.
walk back in and grab his coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now he's even more secluded than he was before.
Are you, Patrick, are you in a situation where you're self-sustainable? Like you could do that? Like live off your land and just kind of live off
We are probably somewhere in the 50 to 75% range.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, we have a garden, we have the chickens, and yeah, we got a couple other things, but yeah.
So I'll be honest, I've been trying to garden for the last couple of years. What is the secret of gardening? Because I can only grow cucumbers. That's about all I can grow.
Where do you get the seeds from?
Online and on Amazon.
Walmart.
There you go.
That's probably
Like,
the biggest problem.
Is that it? The seeds? What do you suggest? Because I'm literally trying to live like I want to live
Local.
or like living off the land.
Yeah.
Kind of.
If you can't buy local, there's a company called Heirloom Seeds. They're
Okay.
I think they're in Iowa.
Okay, I'm putting this in my phone.
And they have a homestead starter pack. It's like 130 different seed types.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Ooh.
yeah.
Okay.
That requires land right there. 130 seed types.
Well, I mean, you don't have to use them all at the same time. Luckily.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I
that's a lot.
have a small like above ground garden, but
Like
I
a-
literally want to grow peppers and
Yeah.
like I want to grow all the things that like I live off of. And if that's what's gonna do it, because I do, I just get off of Amazon.
Yeah, that's probably.
Pat, someone was telling me recently that chickens, like the cost of keeping chickens is actually much less than the eggs. Is that
Yeah.
true?
If you
Or not less. I'm sorry. It's more expensive to just keep chickens than it is to just go buy a carton of eggs.
no,
No.
That's not true. Okay.
No way.
All right.
No way. You could feed those
No.
chickens anything.
because we
way.
have 7 adult hens,
Okay.
and just in the past week, I've probably made $20 off the eggs,
Okay. So you sell
Yeah.
the eggs. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
and we had
How
enough
do you
for
sell the
ourselves too.
Wow. Okay.
Is
A
that
bag-
what you do, Patrick? Is it like you sell like what you make? Kind of,
What you
sort
don't
of,
use.
sort
Kinda,
of.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I make sure we have enough for what we need.
Yeah.
But like a bag of feed for the chickens is only $13-14,
Oh shit.
wow.
Yeah.
and it lasts a
good.
month.
Yeah.
So-
There you go.
Okay. All right.
You know, you do the math on it.
They were liars.
So
Yeah.
let's be honest, Patrick, as a real estate agent, as a farm owner, as a husband, as a father, are we best living off the grid? Like seriously, I'm being dead ass. Like, are we
Yeah.
best living off the grid?
Yeah, well, my
To a
wife and I
point,
both
to a point.
have. We've made a lot of dietary changes,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and I know I feel better
Yes.
eating my own stuff
Yes.
rather than all the processed meat, processed veggies, all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
So I'm going to do it if I can, as long as I can.
Yeah.
So essentially, even if you don't live off the grid, just try to live more holistically. I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, holistically is not the words, but organically.
It's a good starting angle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's so important. We got to start doing that because we don't know what's in our food. We don't know what's in it.
I'm already eating healthy enough.
Really, T? Don't lie.
Look, she takes
Don't
my
lie.
boo takes care of me. I'm telling you, my boo takes care of me.
I love her for that. I love her for that.
She does. She takes care of me. She don't let me eat a bunch of junk. She
it's not junk.
She packs my lunch.
Good.
Yep. I don't get the donuts I used to get all the time.
Oh man.
Donuts.
My ex-husband, Patrick, is Pat, and he's a police officer, and he refuses to eat donuts in front of people because
we will not buy them in uniform.
I'm not eating donuts. Even if it's like in our own home. He was like, I'm not eating donuts because that's what people think I am as a donut eating cop. Like, he refuses to eat donuts. So that's probably good. He probably eats them in the police station, though. Let's be honest.
Usually what we would do is we would have someone in admin or
bring them.
Get the donuts.
So you can eat them in the privacy of your own home. Yeah, I get it. Like wouldn't he, Bo? He'd be like, I'm not eating that. Even if it's like 4 p.m. and we're like, he's off shift and like you had a donut, he'd be like, I'm not eating that. What? Nobody's looking at you.
All right, so we're gonna wrap up in just a second here.
Yeah,
Pat,
we do. I know.
Thank you for coming on. Hopefully we didn't scare you away. You want to come back and be a guest host.
God. I'm sorry, it's me.
When Becky gets passionate, we'll be all right. We appreciate you coming. So I think last time Becky did a final thought.
I'm not doing it.
We don't have to do final thoughts.
Bobo's ready. Bobo's ready this time.
Bo, you ready?
Okay.
No.
Patrick's ready. Patrick has the final thought. Look at him.
He's like, spy.
What's the concept of it? Just whatever comes to mind, or
whatever comes to your mind.
Final thought, like you just say it. It's hard, I know.
I don't know why, but a Robin Williams quote is coming to mind. I don't know.
Okay, go for it.
Yes.
It's the one where he talks about you never know what another person is going through, so treat them the best way you can, the way you would want to be treated.
I love you for that. That's perfect.
So
perfect.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen next is we're going to end the show, but stay in the box so we can chit chat for a second. But this is when we talk about, if you like our show, when we end the show, like the video, subscribe, and leave a comment. And leave comments that what you like about the show, what you don't like about the show, what you would like to see. And the preview for next week is we have our friend Danielle coming on. So we're looking forward to that. Yes. But other than that, everyone, have a great evening and happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Pat.
Yes.